Thank you for watching News Echo. My name is Shegun Johnson. Today we have got a big discussion for you. We want you to participate. We want you to write your opinion. We want you to give diverse opinions. And we're going to be discussing issues concerning Nigeria. We want to focus on Nigeria to see whether it is a failed state. I'll be coming with the simple definition of a failed state in a moment. But in this studio, we have all the way from Abuja, our own man, Dr. Usita Anyemeka. Dr. Usita, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson.
And we were our own in-house researcher, Ambassador Nat Iyakwo from the city of London. Thank you for coming, Ambassador.
Pleasure is always mine. Good morning, everybody.
And the man, not the least, is a man in Italy, Mark in Milan. Mark, you're welcome to this program.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you. Another beautiful
In the last few days, Nigeria has been inundated with so many terrorist attacks, banditries, ritual killings. Today, we want to have a look at ourselves, look into the mirror, project to the rest of the world what Nigeria is at the moment without prejudice. There are so many good things going on in Nigeria, but the question is, has Nigeria been able to hold its security together? And the yardstick we normally use is a country a failed state or not? For us to know what a state is, I will simply summarize a state as a group of people with a geographical boundary and a sovereign government, which Nigeria is supposed to have. But when the sovereignty is being challenged, then they say it is a failed state or a government not fit for a purpose. The first thing that we are told that a government must do is to provide security for its people, and the next thing will be welfare for its people. And Thomas Hobbes did that in explaining the Leviathan. When everybody submitted his or her power to the government and say, please give us security. So in Nigeria today, you have no right to carry a gun except you have a license for it. You have no right to carry a machete around the place except you are licensed to do so. And so while everybody has submitted his or her power to the government has not been able in turn to protect and give security for the average man or perhaps all men. And we want to look at these from the bombings that have happened, the banditries that have happened. Let's start with the airport attack on Saturday. While the ruling APC was having their meeting, some people believe that the airport should be blocked, should be challenged, should be marooned. Let me ask our in-house researcher, Ambassador Nat, please bring us to date about this airport attack on Saturday.
Thank you very much, Dr. Johnson. The one of the challenge first and foremost is, as I keep saying, when these type of things come to the public attention, the first casualty is always the truth. The Kaduna International Airport incident of Friday, the 26th of March, 2022. No, we don't, honestly, we have not been told the truth yet. The first information that came out to public consumption was that the tarmac, the insurgents or terrorists attacked the tarmac, took over the tarmac, prevented an XZ Max airplane from taking off, and one person was killed. But the next day, the military and the Air Force officers in Abuja there said those terrorists were 6 kilometers from the perimeter fence. So which story are we getting? Whose story do we believe? 6 kilometers from the perimeter fence is a good distance, and that they were just passing by, terrorists passing by Nigeria and at the airport. So that is that for that. We don't know yet. They have
How
not.
about disruption of the aeroplane that was to take off, and that airline said it will never come back again?
Well, we hope we will believe them that they couldn't take off at that particular time. We are told the incident happened. Not only XZ Max, Air 2 for now will not be going to any place near Kaduna International Airport.
All right, let's ask our man in Abuja. Please give us more information, Osi.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. The issue with Kaduna is unique because it answers all questions. I used to ask somebody, how can Kaduna and Niger states be in trouble when they are the two states next door to the seat of government? Because you expect that the military, the police, our Aso Rock with their special security, everything is next door to Kaduna and Niger State, and these are the two states that are being troubled now. So what have we done so far? The issue of the attack at the Kaduna airport is just a beginning, because I hear rumors that they are going to do the same for the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. They're just testing the grounds. They have done road, they have done bush, they have done air. Now they are doing airports. And the reason why they are doing it is because it has been permissible for them to do it. Nobody has taken any concrete step to stop them from doing what they have done before. So they have not hit the most limit. And like the ambassador said, our first casualty is the truth. When they tell you first and foremost that there is no cause for alarm, run. Because the issue now is that even people who are talking to you don't have concrete knowledge about what has happened. So-called spokesmen, so-called representatives, they all come out to give convenient stories. That's not a way to run a state. Tell people what the truth is, and then let us deal with it with our maturity and our experiences. Kaduna Airport was in trouble, and if you go there on Mando Road, all through that season of the attack, everybody was apprehensive. That shows that something was wrong. But for you to come to the media, or regular media and social media, to say things that are not right, you put people more in trouble. Because once they don't get the truth, they might even walk into the issue. So yes, I am so sure that those people who have told us lies are ashamed now, but that doesn't stop them from doing it again tomorrow. If there are if there are issues that are happening, let us know what it is. And when we know what it is, we cannot deal with it.
So does it mean that we don't have an official report from the Federal Ministry of Aviation?
We don't have a federal government.
Oh.
You'll be surprised.
In reality.
Bishop, you'll be surprised that some of those people who are making these reports are hearing it from their wives and their children.
Okay, let me ask you. I want to ask Mark in Milan. You are an international man. What is the international implication of the invasion of an international airport? I recall that certain airlines refused to use the Kaduna airport when the Abuja one was being reconstructed. Now, the same Kaduna International Airport is in jeopardy of terrorists, we are told. Now, what are the implications for investors and generally for the economy?
Thank you very much, Doc. Jeopardy indeed, and it's simple. A breakdown of business in that side of the industry. Obviously, nobody wants to bring their flights, their planes into on a secure location. So jeopardy indeed, in all wise, economically, human movement and in all angles. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Okay, if we cannot fly into Kaduna, can we not go by rail to Kaduna? Do we have a clip, a video clip to
Yes, sir.
show the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, inspecting burnt and broken rails, and do we have that from the studio, please?
There's a big crater here. Yeah. Look at that. Eh? Slippers. Yeah. Yeah. Was it only this one? This one's only. No, I think they dismantled somewhere. Somewhere else. That's why the rescue train could not.
So could not come.
So they were shooting from up there? What is up there? Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's crazy.
That was Rotimi Amechi inspecting the damages done along with members of the railway board, and he was later quoted to have said that they have set Nigeria back over 3 billion naira, which means over 3 billion naira will be spent in the next few days to quickly put it back to use. And that is just talking about the amount the federal government will spend, not to talk of people who have planned to send their goods by rail, to travel by rail, to go and do many other businesses. So many things have been set back. But let us first of all ask our in-house researcher, give us a pictorial view of what happened on that memory day.
Okay, thank you very much. On that fateful day, Monday, the 28th of March 2022, AK9 is the number of the train that departed Idu station in Abuja at 6 p.m. And normally it should arrive Rigasa station in Kaduna 1.5 hours or thereabout. But look, the train after Kateri Regina section of that rail track. Kateri happens to be Kateri is a boundary town, Niger State getting into Kaduna State, and that is where you see again the next stage. What really happened? There are two schools of thought. Some people are saying the terrorists, maybe some of them got in that train as passengers with improvised explosives. But the more viable story is that part of the track, the laid tracks where the train uses, were removed for quite some distance. And when the train got to where those tracks have been removed, it derailed, and the terrorists were easily there and surrounded the train, got access into the train, headed to the VIP section, and started shooting, and people some killed and some abducted. We understand the terrorists went there with buses. I think 6 buses or thereabout. That is the figure we are hearing. And so those that were abducted were simply pushed into that bus. Nobody knows exactly yet how many people were abducted. Some are talking of 200. And the passenger number too on the manifest is not too clear. The first figures we had, 970, has now come down to 368 or thereabout. And 8 killed, confirmed killed at the moment, 41 in the hospital. And that train is still there. The
Among those who were killed, there was this doctor, young doctor, and there was this man who is a chairman of a board.
yeah. Actually, is it Dr. Chinelu, dental
Yeah, that's
Chinelo.
Dr. Chinelo. That's the young
Chinelo.
lady.
Chinelo,
The
okay,
Chinelo.
young lady.
That's the young lady, and
young, who was preparing, I understand, to travel abroad to further her career, but now no more. And then some officials of the MBTE, Nigerian Bar
yes,
Association,
NDCE, yes.
yeah, Nigerian Bar Association, TUC, Ozigi, and a few others. The chief of defense staff led the service chiefs to that spot in the morning of yesterday. The Minister of Transport and his board went there, and where they've made their report uh, to Mr. President, and as usual, Mr. President summoned the service chiefs, gave his usual directives that would not be affected. Here we are.
Do we have any message, any statement from the government on this official statement?
Well, the official statement was from the president himself.
What did he say?
Well, after the service chiefs meeting with him and briefing him, he said this was a national tragedy. He won't allow any group of people to hold the country to ransom. um, the Nigerian Railway Corporation should ensure that all the necessary equipment they need should be installed. We had the minister saying bureaucracy had prevented him from getting some of those sensors, some of those cameras, and other things. So the president didn't say anything more than his usual
Thank you
thing.
very much.
Yeah.
Dr. Sita, what's the mood in Abuja?
The mood in Abuja is that nobody is doing anything. I'm sorry. I'm in Abuja. I'm angry. I'm crying. The truth about our country is that a huge debacle happened. People left in confidence. This is not the first time the Abuja-Kaduna railroad have been affected by the bad guys. After the first one, our hope was that something has to be done, like CCTV cameras, like lighting the path, creating the opportunity for people who are inside it to be confident enough that they are secure. As a matter of fact, I traveled by rail 2 weeks ago. I was in the Itakpe Warri rail, the one that goes from Delta State to Kogi State. At some point, the train stopped and started going back. Everybody was crying. You know why? There was nobody from the engine room, no information to anybody to say this is what is going on in the same train. Nobody said anything to anybody. So people started manufacturing their own story. They were not using their phone. We have been attacked. Bandits are driving us. We are going backwards now to the former station, and so on and so forth. Until somebody now said, "To hell with these people. What is going on? Tell us." It happened that somebody was crossing the road and got hit by the train, and the vehicle got destroyed. I think the guy died on the spot, but they couldn't tell us that. So you can imagine traveling from Kaduna, from Abuja to Kaduna at 6 p.m. As you leave, the day gets darker. The paths are not lit. Nobody inside the train is sure of the next stop. This is traveling in trauma. And then the way we feel today now is that there is no rail now to Kaduna. There is no road to Kaduna. And there's no flights to Kaduna. We are stranded. The issue is that we're not even living anymore. I live here now. I have canceled everything I'm supposed to do, traveling out of this place in the next 1 month. Which means that my business is suffering, my relationships are suffering, my family is is in abeyance, and it tells a lot about what's happening to the rest of Nigerians here. So the issue is, why hasn't the government said something and we see it as something we can trust? Just like Ambassador said, the same statements all the time. These words are said.
What do you think? What do you think has gone wrong between the presidency, the ministers, and the agencies? I mean, the president appears to be living in another country, while the ministers are in charge of their different ministries, but are not in charge of their agencies. For instance, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has no power to speak to the press, and they have to listen to their minister. The minister doesn't want to offend the presidency for whatever reason, and so everybody is keeping quiet. And then the social media is the only one that is feeding us with half truth, half rumor, and all the rest, because there is a lacuna. Is this a real position to say that Nigeria has failed, so that everyone will now be on his own? I mean, if we come to that conclusion, we'll be in a position to take care of ourselves. Dr. Husi, because you're on the ground.
We failed a long time ago. We have done things for ourselves a long time ago. Last Christmas, no, let's get it right. Last Christmas, a travel agency, they created a Waka escort, $360,000 for you to get a Hilux with armed men to escort you when you're traveling around. That is personal security. 380,000 naira a day.
A day.
And they were advertising it. Yes, people were paying for it because people want to stay alive. There's no security in the country. So if you're traveling from Lagos to the east, to Onitsha, to Owerri, to Enugu, to Aba, you can get one. As a matter of fact, you can actually get two because your vehicle has to be in between. And they made so much money out of that. So, that apart, what are we talking about? Nigeria failed since after all the talk about curing terrorism and whatever. The government came and it became worse. We used to hear about terrorism before. Now there's banditry. Now there's kidnapping. Now there's murder on the street. Now there's rape. So
let me ask you, our man in Milan, Mark, have we? I'm very reluctant to say that we have failed. I'm not saying we have not failed, but I'm reluctant to accept it, because it's like I know a failed state in Somalia, and I know how the marauders run their own regions. I know a failed state in Libya where there was no national government. So I've seen failed states before, but I cannot believe my own country is a failed state. What will you say, Mark, given what we have been told?
Doc, I will align with Dr. Sita. We are tending towards if the failed that economy failed state, and it's sad because we shouldn't be. Nigeria can live up to a lot of expectations in terms of progress and development. The train, Abuja-Kaduna train situation is it shows how much the government doesn't really plan things well. The Minister of Transport is going now to see what the carnage, but a lot of checks would have been done to prevent this, like Dr. Osita said. And I think one check they could have now is have a train like the Waka Express, a train that goes before the main passenger train that carries security men and surveillance equipment, before the main train goes out. I think that's what should be applied now. Just as
but there were security men in the train, and they were overpowered. The ammunition ran out. We were told.
Then it's not. They are not. They were not.
From personal experience, these are not just security men. No. These are one policeman. Civil defense. And no, Dr. Shegu, don't laugh now because this really scares us.
Yeah, but when you say one policeman,
yeah, I mean, if you're talking about security, you're talking about security for the lives of people. I rode the first class, and it was completely full. And I look around, I see one policeman just pass with a gun from end to end and go to the next coach. That's no security. Because if they hit that coach, they kill the policeman first, and security is gone. It's gone. So
and then
it's not even for the security to be in that same coach with the passengers.
Absolutely. Logically, life gone.
Yes,
logically on the eye.
Yes, logically, how it's done is a train goes or a mobile movement goes before that train carrying the passengers and clears the road and is really watching as surveillance. So it's a failed state. We're tending to that. We will not completely rule that out, but we're still standing on one leg. So amendments could be done now. Amendments, then yes.
Can I say something? Yeah, please. Yeah. Dr. Shegu, you asked a very brilliant question. We're actually number 12. I just checked. We're actually number 12 in the failed states of the world.
Wow.
Yemen is number 1. Somalia, Syria, South Sudan, DR Congo, Central African Republic, Chad, Sudan, Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Nigeria.
Wow.
Nigeria number 12.
Now, we just have to humble ourselves and be faced with our problems. It appears that, Ambassador Nat, correct me, it appears that El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, was the most sympathetic with terrorists. When they happened about 4 years ago or 5 years ago, he went to pay them and said, take money and leave us alone. And since then, they have come back for more money, and we've not been able to pay, and so we are paying for it in lives. Ambassador, what do you see? Why is Kaduna the center of abduction, of banditry? Why is it coagulating there?
Well, Kaduna, again, historically, it was the capital of northern region. And so we have strategic institutions, strategic installations in Kaduna.
Please mention some of them, because our listeners and viewers may not know what I know what you're saying, but we need to mention them. What is number 1? That is that is defense.
You have the
Nigerian Defense Academy.
No, before the Division 1 of Nigerian Army.
The first division. Yes.
Yes, that is the highest, and that is the most armored or strategic military institution, not only in northern Nigeria, even the whole of the country. You have the Nigerian Defense Academy,
number 2
institution. Jaji is not too far away. You
have
Nigerian Air Force Base, one of the best Air Force installations in Nigeria. You have the Nigerian DIC, it's what Defense Corporation, who are supposed to be manufacturers of arms and ammunition.
I mean, among others. And that is where they are getting with impunity.
Yes, that is where the Defense Academy, these people could just stroll in and stroll out, and killed senior officers, and nothing happened. And that is where because along that Mando Road, that is the road that leads to Brendan Gwari. You have the international airport not too far away. You have the Air Force headquarters of their staff housing. People were kidnapped from that place. You have the Afaka Forestry Mechanized
Let
College.
me ask you one question before we go on break. Do you
Yes.
think El-Rufai has got the brain to run a state government? Has it got the brain, apart from running up and down to get a PhD from the UK? Has it got a brain at all to run a state government? Because he's
Well,
an accidental public servant anyway.
you can equally talk of these 36 state governors. None of them has any command on one policeman, not even to talk of one soldier.
Yeah,
They,
but El-Rufai seems to be loud-mouthed, doing nothing in that state, with Kaduna, southern Kaduna Christians being killed on a daily basis, villages being marooned, and yet he's claiming to be a governor. Do they have the understanding of governor at
Well, that
all?
was part of his mandate.
but
That was part of his
most of
mandate.
our governors are not even talking.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody who is loud-mouthed and is talking, maybe it's a better governor than those who are not.
No, Ambassador, I think we should keep quiet.
Yeah,
Because
When
okay.
his
half of his
loud-moutedness
kingdom has
creates
been
more
overtaken.
problems.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you very much, gentlemen. We'll go on a short break. Please, no one should go away. When we return, we want to continue assessing if Nigeria is a failed state. Maybe it's the body language of Mr. President that gives the marauders and the bandits and the terrorists the effrontery and audacity to run our airports, our railway, and our roads. Maybe it stems from the head of the government. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When I wrote the book, The Final Solution, the Lord gave me some things in the spirit realm to see going to happen here. And that is why you need to get a copy of this book, not because of the purchase, but because of the contents. We've not spent 2 weeks. Now we have seen the problem in Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus, Donetsk, Luhansk, and all the other surrounding nations, talk less of the Western countries and the Eastern countries. We want to pray that this stops where it is. Some people are even imagining a third world war. I pray that there'll be no third world war, but we need to know the solution to all of these problems, and they are well packaged in that book, The Final Solution. The amount of money is next to nothing. Go to Amazon and buy this book. Go to the Kindle, go to KDP and buy this book. It's very important. So it is in Amazon and Kindle. And of course you can purchase the paperback, but it's not about the money. It's about the contents to have solution to Ukraine, to Russia, to the West, to the East, and indeed all parts of the world. Do get a copy and let's start operating the solution of God to our time.
Welcome to Ciliate Farms. In Ciliate Farms, we actually engage in growing live cat species at different sizes, from the fingerlings up to the size of maturity. Feel free to explore Ciliate Farms whenever you're in Abuja, as we are located in Kubwa and we sell at affordable prices. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to News Echoes. We want to continue to assess is Nigeria a failed state, and we are not just saying it because we're happy to say it. We're saying it to assess ourselves, and if there are still some things that we can garner to make Nigeria a successful state, we better do. We have looked into the great train robbery, great train massacre, the great train banditry. We have looked at the airport attack. Unfortunately, we were told that there was a road banditry even as late as yesterday. Dr. Sita, you are in Abuja, as if the great train massacre was not enough. We were told that something happened on the way between Abuja and Kaduna. Can you enlighten us, please?
Yes, it was by road. The story, it's very painful because people now, people who would normally go by train, by rail, now decided to take a journey. And it's like the bandits' plan were twofold: stop the train and stop the road. So they have been able to stop the train, and now they have massively returned to the road to create more problems. But as
Wow.
usual, people who are supposed to give us, yes, who are supposed to give us details about that experience are keeping mum. Because the question we have been asking is, when it happened, what happened? Didn't the police know that this was going to be the next line of action so that they can plant their usual checkpoints? Didn't the police think that by morning already yesterday that these bandits were thinking about returning back to the road because they were on the road before now? They were on the road for years. So what the rail did to them was that it curtailed the number of passengers who will go by road normally. Only a few people who will have missed the train will go by road. So now they have stopped the train. So we were thinking that, okay, now that they've stopped the train, the police would know. Police in Niger State, police in Kaduna State, police in Abuja would know that it's the time for them to return to the road so that they can save people's life. But no, they didn't do that. A very
And
long stretch. Yes,
the,
sir.
the federal government, does the federal government assess itself whether it is doing the right? Do they have a self-assessment policy?
You are a Londoner. Excellent. You are a Londoner. This is not. There's no self-assessment. Nobody assesses nobody. Nobody assesses nobody. The ambassador now just said it. Before the break, everybody says what the president wants to hear. That's not assessment. His
Oh,
ministers would they will quote it in a way that when Baba hears it, he'll go back, take a cup of tea and go back to bed. So what we're looking at is that yesterday it has happened. Will it not happen today? It's not going to happen over the weekend. Of course, it's going to keep happening. Why? Because the body language of Mr. President shows that yes, please, if my life is not affected, take the life of others. This is not the country that I love to protect. And if we all feel that way, where do we run
mm,
to?
yes. Ambassador Nat, I want to ask you: is it not because the federal government policy of arresting a terrorist, debriefing the terrorist, and sending him back to go and commit more atrocities? Is it not what is causing us this trouble? You remember Gumi went to meet with the terrorists in Zamfara and said the federal government should give them pardon. And so they get pardon, they get come again and again. Rufai said, let us pay them. Is it not the policy of the federal government that is aiding and abetting more banditry and terrorism?
Uh, no, strictly speaking, there is no cohesive or coherent federal government policy on providing security from Nigeria. There is none. What we have in place, as you have said earlier on, individual uh, ministers or the armed forces are given a free hand to do what they think they'll be able to do. You know, the immediate past service chiefs were busy fighting each other as to how much they will get from the budget, and the federal government was not doing anything.
Mm.
And Nigerians were crying that those service chiefs should go home. They have gone home, but these present ones, the second month they tried, but we have now seen how much they tried, that really nothing has changed. Things are getting worse. The federal government has no strategic policy for protecting the citizens of Nigeria. And it is even got worse, where you now have regional non-state actors or regional security outfits trying to pick up where the federal government has failed woefully.
But they are not even allowed to carry guns.
Well, they are allowed to carry, they carry DIN guns, which compared to AK 40.
This is hunters' guns.
Or
Hunters'
49.
guns, yes.
Hunter's gun.
Hunters gun that they use after rat and mouse.
Yes, yes. So
and there's nobody, no organ to inform the government that the people are dying. Is there no way? Is that what kind of democracy is this? That there's no way to inform the government that is not fit for purpose.
There are ways government have been informed. I'm sorry, I'm jotting it. I'm so sorry. Government
yes,
has
okay.
been informed. Government is not listening. You know what Englishman calls somebody paying deaf ear to issues. This is what we're living with. And if it's permanent deaf ear,
and you know why, Dr. Sita? Because the mentality is the opposition party is trying to sabotage the sitting government. So anytime there is this damage to economy, to security of lives, the government says, it's the opposition party. They want to scatter our government. So they are trying to sabotage us. They're trying to do this. So they are not facing the reality. They are not seeing it as a thing that should be looked into and settled. So it's always
there is the opposition that's supposed to do its job. There are the agencies supposed to do their jobs. I mean, the police is an agency of the government. The military is the agency of the government. They have no business with the opposition. Somebody is bombing the rail tracks. Those people should be freaked out and punished to serve as a deterrent for future thinkers of such evil. But so what the government has done?
Dr. Johnson, do you know some of the echoes we had from Nigeria is they are saying it that the opposition, I won't name party here now, that the opposition party could be behind this.
While I'm not even going into that, I'm saying that whoever is behind it, bring the person forward for proper punishment. That's what we're saying.
Yesterday's soccer, somebody was blaming PDP for failure.
That was the next question I wanted to ask Mark. Mark, I think you are the youngest amongst us, Mark. Now review the failure of the Nigerian team yesterday. They failed to win. They failed to show decorum. And now FIFA is going to sanction them mightily that they will never, maybe watch matches live in that stadium for some time to come. But help us, tell us what happened yesterday.
Yes, what happened yesterday was World Cup qualifying matches. The World Cup will be held in Qatar. And Nigeria was playing the second league with Ghana. Remember, we drew with Ghana also in Accra. So the the second league was played in Abuja Stadium, and we both played. Both teams played well. Nigeria tried, but we've always had this issue with the Ghanaian football team. They when it's time to face Nigeria, they really bring out all their strength and vigor and everything. So the game ended 1-1. And that gives Ghana the automatic pass to the World Cup. So
here we go.
Yes. That didn't go well with the crowd. And this morning we've even had that a senior official has passed away too. A Gabonese FIFA official. Yes, he died.
Was he beaten?
Yes, from the stampede. When there's a stampede, anything happens.
No.
Hit people, blow, do everything. So, and there are more casualties too. Many Nigerian young boys and spectators were hurt.
Let me ask you this question. I was watching the video clips yesterday as they were destroying all the things in the studio.
Yes.
But I want to ask you a question before you play the video. Is this not part of the spirit of terrorism, banditry, wanting destruction? Is that not the thing that jumped on the spectators, the government will do nothing. They will not fish out anybody. They will get away with it. So it's the same spirit that is running the nation, the terrorists that came on them, isn't it?
Yes, there is a very bad atmosphere of violence in Nigeria now. Young men are easily ready to scatter things and go very crazy from little things. So yesterday showed that the young people, the youths of Nigeria have come to their boiling point when it comes to aggression. Little thing, they flip and they go extreme. Some analysts said is because a lot of them put in the bets. The bet is one thing that goes on in Nigeria now. Footballs played with so much betting and stakes. Yeah, so the bet is Nigeria will win. And a lot of them did that. So they've lost their money. They've lost the match. They're not going to Qatar. And they couldn't take that. So the aggression was serious. We've not seen this madness before in the stadium. And like you said, FIFA is looking into it. We will be getting the information today and tomorrow. FIFA action. Nigeria now might be
I'm waiting. I'm really waiting for FIFA.
Coupled with this failed state label, we might now be marked as a no-go zone for other FIFA matches.
Wow, Ambassador Nat, what are the implications quickly of their wanting
for
to
other sports? For other sports, not just soccer.
Okay, what are the implications for other sports?
Because there's a letter that
Thank you, studio. Nat, you wanted to say something?
Yes, briefly, the issue of the first state thing, it doesn't happen a day. It's a progressive situation. And at the tail end of this first state thing we're talking, you have what is called a collapsed state. That is the last stage of a failed state. What we have just seen on the stadium is also a reflection of the larger society. There is a riotous way of doing things in Nigeria. There is gross indiscipline among Nigerians, and one or two people started. They don't see anything wrong to invade your national stadium just after the match or thereabout and start destroying anything on sight. It's sad and it's unfortunate. In the international community, nobody will even want to come to Nigeria for anything, not even just soccer, as Dr. Sita has said. No investor will want to come to that type of atmosphere or situation or country. They will not come.
Let me ask Dr. Sita. He's been a sports journalist at a very high level for several decades. OC, tell us from your knowledge the implication of what Nigeria did yesterday.
It's huge. My colleague just said it. The point is that it doesn't really matter how much soccer we can play. There are rules of engagement. We have missed all the rules and we have gone beyond. As a matter of fact, there is a letter that made rounds from the Department of State Services to the Directorate of Road Traffic Services, the RTS, They said that there is intelligence available that IPOB, these guys in the southeast are going to cause menace in an Abuja stadium. DSS claims that they had intelligence that this was going to happen, but instead of doing something about it, they left it to letter writing only, accusing IPOB. So if the international community understands this is DSS. This is the ultimate in security services in Nigeria. So if they can just go this length only for an international soccer.
Yeah.
What about other things? You see, we do things we don't realize the implications. People are asking questions. Why did we get to this point where violence was allowed? It can't happen anywhere else. There is actually no way a non-player can be strolling the stadium at restricted areas. It can't happen anywhere.
Was there any rationale? Was there any rationale for the government to give a public holiday? I mean, for half of the day, because the federal government gave half of the day. Because that gives some people chance to go and.
It was even a guilty reaction. It is a gift from a government that listen. We sacked our coach without paying him. The players, happy. You think Nigerians are happy? A country is deluged with killings and robbery and rape, and government is not saying anything. It is now soccer that they will give a public holiday. It's an aberration of behavior.
I mean, I could not believe it when I read from the permanent secretary in the office of the head of civil service, asking that the civil servants should go to the football field and be watching game when they should be watching.
And they said it was an order, meaning that if you don't do it, you will be paid.
Yeah, I think you are right. Salaries. It was part of the guilt.
Come on now, come on.
It was part of the guilt. I'm just mindful of the time, and I want to say that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave up his colloquium yesterday, saying that it would not be right to have the colloquium. Was it that it's not going to be right, or that they were coming to kidnap him, that there will be some abduction? I mean, what intelligence?
I will urge the two clergies who are here present to continue to pray, and every one of you to go home and pray. This event should not be holding.
That's an acceptance of the failure of the government. If a pre-planned event for several months, at least 12 months, had to be cancelled, is an acceptance that the government has failed. Dr. O.C., what do you say?
I also think too that apart from government failing, it shows that we don't have our priorities right. Tinubu's birthday is a private event. It is his birthday, not federal government event. So whether he cancels it, whether he does whatever, the fact that he has a dream to become president of Nigeria in this lifetime doesn't mean anything. What it shows, what the cancellation shows, is that they don't even have respect for things of Nigeria. What is his colloquium going to achieve was that all those people were standing there, if they are not political appointees or political stooges, and the president was going to go. So let's say it's a party thing for APC members. It's not a Nigerian thing. And the fact is that we're angry.
I think everything about Asiwaju will now be cancelled. It's just starting the cancellation. The colloquium has been cancelled. his political ambition will now be cancelled because he masterminded Buhari to come into power. Buhari has not been able to secure the land he is to have his colloquium. So I think his political ambition was cancelled by that act. He did not know what he has done. He has, and then he also said, "Go and pray." Asiwaju has never talked about God before in his life. I'm saying this boldly on national television. He doesn't say anything about praying, and I wonder why he asks people to go home and pray. I mean, is hypocritical of somebody who does not believe in God, who does not believe in Allah, the Muslim God, in Jesus, the Christian God. Well, actually, then ask them to go and pray, and I believe that that is the downward trend of his political ambition. And Nigeria needs someone who is coming with projects and not ambitions. But I'm going to give my colleagues 1 minute each to tell us something about this cancellation. Let's start from Ambassador Nat. What do you think with this cancellation?
You see, this Kaduna train incident happened around the evening of Monday, the 28th of March. And Asiwaju was claiming on Tuesday in the stadium that he didn't know such a thing happened. Such a national tragedy happened, and a lifetime presidential ambition man didn't know that your country was on fire. You even got to the stadium. People got there. I mean, he's finished himself.
Mark, what does the cancellation of that colloquium mean to you?
I want to stay with you, Dr. Shegun. That cancellation means cancellation of everything. His political ambition, everything is being cancelled. If soon he will fade out of the scene because we don't want him. That's all I can say.
Well, I'm told that some hoodlums went to Dangote fertilizer factory to go and destroy, to steal their cables. Nat, you have that story?
Yes, briefly, that's yesterday. The fertilizer company was commissioned, the petrochemical almost completed. So 20 hoodlums came through the waters, got access into the petrochemical industry.
Yes, the plant.
And they were going in for the installed armored cables in the fertilizer company. And then the Nigerian police detachment that was guarding the petrochemical had to now start this exchange fire, gunfire with the bandits, 20 of them. One was killed, and the remaining 19 thereabout got back into the water and disappeared.
Now, Dr. Sita, what future do you see for this state? I'm going to give you the last word, Dr. Sita. What future do you see for Nigeria with this insecurity and the apparent failure of the state security machinery? Your last statement.
Continuous failure. I'm sorry, it's dark. It's really dark, and I apologize that I'm saying that about my country. But the fact is that if we are thinking that Nigeria is going to be better, what roles are we playing? What part are we playing? We cannot just sit, fold our hands and say Nigeria will be better. We have to do something about it, and nobody is doing nothing yet.
Somebody just said that Nigerians should have shown outrage in what happened on the railway track, but no outrage. Everybody keeping mum. And so the airport was attacked, the railway line was attacked, the roads have been attacked.
Failing. Mr. Moderator, we'll keep failing. Once we can't do anything, we can't show outrage, we can't even show real sympathy, we can't show it. Because if you're sympathetic, you fight.
Well, gentlemen, it's my duty to thank you all. I want to thank Mark in Milan and the crew in Italy for giving us a good time. I want to thank my friend in the city of London, Ambassador Nat, for his time and knowledge. And of course, to our ace sports journalist, Dr. Osita Anyemeka, right in the seat of government in Abuja. And of course, you, our viewers and listeners, we are very most grateful to you. Until next Wednesday, when we bring the best of news and analysis to you. My name is Shegun Johnson, and God